Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? I'm here with a icon, a serious world icon. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you one of the greatest musicians, one of the greatest guys in the whole world, Sting.
Thank you. I will try and live up to your extravagant praise.
How are you, my man?
I'm a little tired, but I'm very excited. We did a show last night. And,
Yes.
we played with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. And that was a kind of landmark in my career.
Yeah.
And it was a gas. We did an hour and a half of my songs and Christian's on bass. I don't give up the seat in my band easily unless it's the best. And Vinnie Colaiuta on drums, David Sanchez, Dominic Miller, and it's an amazing orchestra. So I'm blown away.
It was a great night. I got the call. You've had this on the books for quite some time now, this concert, right?
I think maybe 6 months.
Yeah. We recorded it. I hope that the world can get to hear what we did last night. It was a pretty amazing night. And now you're off to Toronto a little later on today. And what do you have coming up for the rest of the summer?
I'm going to try and write some new material, but I'm also finishing off an album which will come out at Christmas, an album based on the theme of winter. All the songs are about the winter, about the cold, about the season of imagination and mystery, and there's a few Christmas carols in there. It's a strange, interesting project.
Speaking of finishing new material, we all know that you are one of the greatest songwriters in the history of music. I mean, you're right up there with Rodgers and Hart and Jimmy Van Heusen, Stevie Wonder, Bob Dylan, the whole nine. How did that start for you?
Songwriting?
Yeah.
I think I always wrote songs.
Is that right?
In my head. I had little rhymes going and little tunes going, and then learned to play the guitar after that. And to teach other people.
But you've always been so prolific. Did you always carry around like a little notebook with you and just jot everything down?
A little notepad. Little things occur to you. You wake up and you write something.
Right.
Less and less, actually. I was much more prolific when I was younger. And my kids have got that now.
Yeah.
My kids write a song a day. I think,
wow.
Give your dad a song.
Well, you're thinking about songwriting. You play bass. You play guitar. You sing. You act. You're an author. Take me all the way back. At what point did this start to... what was first?
What was first for me?
Yeah.
I really had no clue what to do with my life. My mother played the piano quite well, and my daddy sang, but there was no clue as to how that could become a career.
Right.
So I wanted to escape. I lived in a poor part of town. And so I thought being academic was the way to go. You stick in a school, you do your homework, and you get your exams. So I eventually became a school teacher, but kept the music thing going a long time. I play in bands, and my first band was, I used to play trad jazz.
You playing bass?
I played stand-up bass in the trad jazz group. This is where I got my name Sting. I was 16.
With the yellow and the
Had
black
a yellow and
sweater,
black sweater, and they thought it was a stupid, silly name, which it is. But that's what they call me, and I've had that for 40
It's stuck,
years.
right?
Stuck.
You told me a story once. One of the guys from the band called the house and spoke to your mother. Said, "Yeah, I'd like to talk to Sting." And your mother said, "What?"
Who? But she ended up calling me Sting.
Bass is your main axe. And how old were you when you started playing the bass?
I was probably about 15 or 16.
Oh, okay.
I got a homemade electric bass.
Okay.
That a friend of mine had made, and I figured out that unless you play C when the piano player is playing a C chord, it ain't a C chord.
Absolutely.
You are in charge of the harmony, also the dynamic of the band. It's a very good place to lead a band from, particularly if you sing as well. So you have the top and you have the bottom, and everybody just has to obey your rules.
Now, did you always sing and play, even when you started playing the bass?
I always did. I mean, people say, how do you play the bass and sing? I make holes so I can sing in holes.
Yeah.
But it developed a style of playing that is spare.
You also said it's difficult for you to give up your bass chair. Now, you've had some really great bass players in your band. You got Darryl Jones, Tracy Wormworth. I know Ira Coleman just did something on your new project coming
and that guy,
out.
Christian...
Yeah, whatever
Mack
his name
something.
is. Christian Islam, or whatever his name is. Who are your favorite bass players? I know you listen to a whole lot of people through the years.
You know, my teacher, I never met him, was Ray Brown. I got the Ray Brown bass book and played those arpeggios and those scales till I wore them out.
My daddy, Ray Brown.
So, you have his bass now.
Yes.
You're a lucky boy.
Yes, I am. You worked with Ray, did you?
No, I never met him.
Really?
No, it was just that book.
Wow. Well, that book is legendary because it's certainly many generations of bass players have used that book like classical players use the Simandl method. Did you obviously you got to see Ray Brown live?
I didn't.
Is that right?
I lived in England. I was poor. We lived in the north.
Well, you know, came to Ronnie's every now and then. Is it safe to say that the Police were almost something way different than you'd ever done musically?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd never been in a rock band before.
Wow.
My first rock band.
So was it a situation where you get your first hit and you go, what?
Now what?
Yeah.
Now what do we do? Well, then I always try to steer the thing in my own direction. You know, but
Right.
I like the groove.
Yeah.
It's important to me.
You always had the mixture of the reggae and the funk, and you always had these other elements.
That's what was interesting about the Police. We could do that other thing.
Right.
It was, wasn't what you couldn't really name what it was.
Right.
And that was important to me, and it just kept progressing. And that's what I've done.
I think it's amazing to see people who hear Roxanne for the first time. I can remember when I first heard it the first time, I clapped on the wrong beat for at least 2 years. You got everybody with leaving that one out.
It's a tango.
Right.
It's a tango.
I know that now, but I remember when you got to, Roxanne, I just remember going, oh. And then you went to the, I said, oh, they got me. They're being slick.
Ambiguity, rhythmic ambiguity is something I adore.
Yes.
I love being unsure about where one is. And then it's, that's where it is.
Right.
Or even, I still don't know where it is. But I love that.
It was a thrill for me to get to work with you because I remember the rules that you gave me before I got to Italy was don't pay any attention to the original arrangements. We got all brand new ones. So I remember thinking, oh, wow, okay, this is going to be fun. And then we got there, and first song we rehearsed together was Fragile. And it's amazing how you reworked all of these songs. And in Roxanne, we had the little jazz section, and Clark Gayton, what's up, Clark? Took that great trombone solo. I got to holler at my man. But do you think that comes from your adventurous jazz nature, since you came from the jazz world?
I
You
think
always
so.
keep that in.
I mean, you have the core of the song, the head of the song, which is it's pretty resilient.
Yeah.
But you can twist it and bend it in all kinds of ways, and it still has an integrity. And I learned that from jazz.
Right.
Play a standard, and you'd make it your own.
Which brings me to Miles Davis. Tell that great story about working with Miles on his "You're Under Arrest" album.
Daryl had been in Miles's band for a while, then he joined mine, and he told me that Miles was really pissed at me because I'd stolen his bass player. Anyway, I get invited to the studio. I said, "Hey, Sting, you got the biggest fucking head in the world." I said, "What do you mean, Miles?" He said, "I saw you in the movie. Your head filled the whole fucking screen." Yeah, everybody laughed. It was fun. I said, "You speak French?" I said, "Yeah, a little." "Okay, translate this." And he gave me the Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent.
Right.
So, Miles Davis has asked me to do this. I don't know why. So I call up Trudy in London, because he has much better French than me. I said, "Baby, where are you?" She said, "I'm in an Indian restaurant in Hampstead." I said, "Do this for me. Translate this into French." And I start reading it. She said, "Are you out of your mind?" I said, "Just do it. Do it."
Right. And I need it quick.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got 10 minutes. And it keeps coming out. "Are you done?" Anyway, she gives me that. And then Miles says, "Okay, read it." Or shout it at me.
Right.
So I shout the Miranda rights at Miles Davis in French on a song called "You're Under Arrest,"
Right.
so the album of the same name.
Right.
And then I do it, and he kicks me out. That's it. But it was worth it.
Put together your. I had the great honor of interviewing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar once, and I asked him to put together his all-time great quintet. I said, Kareem, if you were a promoter and you could put any band together of your favorite cats, who would it be? And he gave me, it was a great band. He said Dizzy Gillespie, Sonny Rollins, Bud Powell, Paul Chambers, and Elvin Jones. All right, I'm putting you on the spot. Who's your all-time great quintet?
That's easy. I play with them now. And you're in the band.
That's sweet. I remember seeing Elvis Costello with the Mingus Big Band not too long after probably you toured with Gil's band. Now, you two worked on an opera? Is that right?
Yeah. He and I didn't like each other for a long time. But we were like mortal enemies, you know. And then...
Y'all had beef.
We met and realized that we had a great deal in common. And we played in an opera that was written by Steve Naive, which is Elvis's keyboard player. I played Dionysus, the Greek, Greek god. And he played the chief of police, actually, which is kind of ironic. And my eldest son was in the opera too. And we did it in Paris in last November. It was great fun.
Now, was this documented? Will it be some kind of release?
It was an album. We made an album.
Okay.
But we may do it again. It was so much fun.
I remember very vividly you and I sitting on the stage. You assured me that there would never be a Police reunion tour.
I'm allowed to change my mind. It proves that I'm thinking. People who don't change their minds aren't thinking.
So we had the great fortune of seeing you guys. My wife and I saw you guys a number of times at Madison Square Garden, and I saw you guys at Bonnaroo. So looking back on it, give me a few words.
You know, it was a very interesting experiment. As I said, at the time I meant I would never, ever do this again. And then I was thinking one day, you know, you need to surprise people in this business. You need to keep that element of surprise. What would be the most surprising thing for people? And the most surprising thing for me to do? So I went to my management and I said, listen to this. They fell off their seats. And they said, it's going to be huge. If you do this, it's going to be massive. And sure enough, we did this tour. It was probably the second biggest tour of all time.
Right.
Very successful, but not easy. It's not easy to go to a dysfunctional marriage or return to a dysfunctional marriage. But nonetheless, it was worth doing on many levels. Would I do it again?
You heard it right here. He said, All right, so what year is this? 2009? I'll give you till 2012. Sting, I want to thank you so very much for doing this, man. You have been a great friend and a true brother for the last 8 years, and I look forward to making a lot more music.
Many more.
War with myself. The doctor, he told me it's no good for my health. To search for perfection is all very well, but to look for heaven is to live here in hell. Today, consider me gone. consider me gone. Consider me, consider me, consider me gone. You can't see that. 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 Can't see that.